Few days later, cutscene. The elevator door opened with a harsh sting. Yuna stepped out of the building top floor from where she thought was just another workday. Trust him actually heals. Clicking against the polished marble floors made already forming was something well different. The front desk didn't greet her. The regular assistant by the young's office avoided her eye. Then the door in the CEO's office opened with and Thank who stood there for security. Miss Yuna, the man said, "Family, you are not permitted here anymore. CEO chemist has terminated your employment effective immediately." Yuna blinked. "Excuse me, there must be a mistake. You weren't just." A second guard stepped forward, placing a sealed envelope in his hand. Inside was a termination letter, cold, final, no emotion. The reason, the violation of professional boundaries and personal harassment toward Mr. Kim's spouse. Wait, he just can't. But Young stepped out, fixing his cufflinks, cold, untouchable. "I should have fired you the day I got married," he said, voice like possible. "I didn't get back then. That was my mistake." She swallowed, still trying to recover her pride. "Die, CEO Kim," he corrected sharply. Then his eyes narrowed. You disrespected my husband. You crossed a line, and no one does that," and walks away untouched. Yuna tried to speak again, but he raised a hand. "You may leave. My legal team will ensure you don't approach either of us again." And just like that, her pride shattered. Yuna was sorted out of the building she used to walk through with arrogance, now nothing more than a memory. As the elevator door closed behind her, Theong's voice echoed in the hallway. "Next time, choose your target wisely." It was a lazy Sunday. The rain had stopped. A soft breeze came through the windows, rustling the shade curtains. Jungkook was curled up on the couch in the lounge, wearing one of the soft baby blue oversized hoodies and fuzzy socks. Hair messy from sleep, he was reading quietly when Theong returned from a brief outing. Theong said softly. Jungkook looked up, surprised when Theong walked in. "Hyung, you bought something?" Jungkook smiled. Hyung smiled and walked, placing the bags beside for you. Jungkook winked. "Me?" I saw something and thought of you. You didn't have to wear anything if you don't feel like it." But he paused, tone softening. After what Yuna said, I realized I never asked if you had clothes that made you feel good. Jungkook hesitated, heart thudding softly. "You bought this because of what you said?" "No," Theong said quickly. "I bought them because I should have done this before you're my husband and want you to have things that you feel happy and confident." Jungkook pulled one item, a soft cashmere sweater with a tiny heart stitch on the stuff. His finger brushed over the fabric. There was more pieces: cream cardigan, flowy silk button-ups, cozy loungewear, soft pastels, and a few bold, elegant pieces too, blacks and deep reds. It was a perfect mix of what he liked and what Hyung imagined him in. Jungkook was speechless. "I thought if we are going to dinner or company events, I want you to shine." Hyung said, "Not to impress anyone else, but no, everyone to see how beautiful you are, just as you." Jungkook eyes filled with tears. "You really think I'm beautiful?" Hyung kept brushing a thumb over his chin. "I have never seen anyone more stunning." Jungkook hugged him tightly, bringing his face in his chest. "Thank you, Hyung, always." A quiet Sunday morning, Theon just returned from home from early morning workout. His hair messy, gravely clinging into his frame. The house was peaceful, too peaceful, and that's when he noticed a tiny gift box sitting in the middle of the desk, wrapped in soft pastel blue tied with ribbon, and a small note placed beside him. Jungkook's delicate handwriting. "Open me when you're ready to cry. Happy tears, love, JK." Young blinked. "What the hell is this, baby bear? Bunny," he muttered, amused. He looked around, no sign of Jungkook. Carefully, he untied the ribbon and opened the box. Inside, neatly folded, was a tiny white Onisi that said in golden words, "Hello, Appa, see you soon." Theon paused for 2 seconds before he didn't breathe. Then he lifted the Onisi, slowly staring at it. Was scared. "No way," he whispered. "No freaking way." That's when the door opened, cracked. Jungkook peeked it, wearing a soft pink hoodie sleeves. Rubbing his hands, cheeks already red. "Surprise!" Theon turned around like he had been struck by lightning. "Are you, Jungkook? Are you serious?" Jungkook bit his lip, then nodded. "Here, I found her 2 days ago. I want to tell you in a special way." Theon dropped the Onisi stone forward and wrapped him in the tightest hug ever, spinning him around. "We are having a baby. Oh my God, we are having a baby." Jungkook giggled and squealed, holding into him. "Theon, put me down. You're going to make me dizzy." He was bouncing like a child, planting kisses over kisses. Jungkook's cheeks, forehead, lips. "I'm gonna be a dad. You're carrying our baby inside you. Oh my God, oh my God." Then suddenly he shouted, "Maria, Soyeon, come here. We're having a baby." Jungkook eyes wide and panicked. "Die, wait, don't tell the maid so suddenly." But it was too late. Maids came rushing in, half expecting a fire, but stopped short when they saw Theon holding Jungkook like a trophy. Theon turned dramatically, grinning like a madman. "He's pregnant. I did it. We made a baby." The maid gasped, eyes wide, and then slowly broke into surprised laughter and applause. "Congratulations, sir." "Oh my God, sir, that's wonderful news. Should we start preparing the nursery now?" Theon nodded rapidly, still holding a flushed and shy Jungkook. "Yes, paint it yellow or green or both. Make it look like happiness." "Theon, calm down," Jungkook whispered, face buried in Chitai's neck. Theon just hugged him tighter. "Now you're giving me a family too," Jungkook whispered softly. "I was scared you would feel overwhelmed." "Overwhelmed with love, absolutely." Tai said with a Dearest smile, you've given me everything I never thought I'd deserve, and now we're going to have a baby, our baby. One week later, Thyoung massaged Jungkook's feet as they sat on the bed. Jungkook sipping warm milk, the only see now hanging on the headboard like a trigger. Are you really gonna be like this the whole pregnancy? Jungkook over giggling. Yep. Tai replied, kissing his ankle. You're not lifting a finger. I'll try. I will carry you if you have to. You're already carrying the emotional load for both of us. Jungkook teased. I'll carry the baby if I could. Jungkook laughed softly and I love you so much. Thyoung kissed his clothing baby. Started with fluttering nerves, Jungkook stood in front of the mirror in their walk-in closet wearing a cream night sweater that hugged his slightly tighter around his belly than usual. His finger pushed around the small but grown curve beneath the fabric. His heart pounding. He was barely 2.5 months pregnant, but the doctor said it was okay to share now, especially with close friend or in their cases the entire boardroom of Thyoung's company. Thyoung adjusted his tie at the dresser, trying to see Jungkook staring down at himself with flushed cheeks. You look like an angel, he murmured, walking toward Jungkook, laughed nervously, leaning into the touch. You don't think it's too obvious? I want it to be, Thyoung whispered, pressing his pillow. Yes, I want everyone to see. I want them to know you're carrying our child. Jungkook face turned red, lips curling into a casual smile. You're really okay with this? He asked. Thyoung looked into his eyes, more serious now. Jungkook, this is the happiest I have ever been in my life, and now a baby. I don't care who's staring. You're coming to my office today. I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly how proud I am. JK teared up a bit, but he felt like home. Jungkook sat in the passenger seat of Thyoung's car, hands in his lap, nibbling on his lips. He was nervous, but Thyoung never let go of his hand, even while driving. When they reached the building, a special pass was already prepared for Jungkook. All the staff bowed politely, but clearly taken by surprise when the usual composed cold CEO stepped out of the elevator with his arm protectively around his husband's waist, and then he came to the boardroom. The top executive was already seated. Thyoung walked in first, holding Jungkook's hand as he gently guided him to his seat. Good morning, Thyoung greeted calmly. Before we begin today's meeting, I would like to make an announcement. Jungkook started nervously as they don't quite. This is my husband, Kim Jungkook. Thyoung said clearly, and we're expecting our first child. Gasp, wide eyes, a few shattered smiles. Jungkook shyly stood and gave a little bow, one instinctively rested on his belly. It's nice. Resting on his belly. It's nice to meet you all. Someone whispered, oh my god, he's glowing. Thyoung didn't stop. I'll be taking partial leave closer to the due date. He said when we so I would appreciate the company's preparing accordingly. My family come first always. The room was turned not because they disapproved, but because this was Kim Thyoung, who had always seemed so distinct, untouchable, and now here he was in love, vulnerable, a father to be. Skipped gender today. The garden was decorated with white balloons and a soft ribbon petals. Floored all their close family staff and friends were invited. Everyone counted 3 to 1. Thyoung pulled the ribbon. A giant balloon burst into the sky and pink confetti rained down. The crowd gasped and cheered. A girl turned to whisper in shock and hand flying to his mouth. Thyoung grinned, eyes full of pride and wonder. Why having a daughter? He wrapped his arm around Jungkook's waist, lifting him up. The crowd was loud, red cheers surrounding them. I'm going to love her so much, he whispered, just like I love you. Jungkook's mood swings were intense. One moment he was sobbing because the baby kicked. The next he was throwing silk tie on the floor because it was too arrogant looking. Screaming's legendary. He wanted strawberry dipped in sea salt, spaghetti with honey, mangoes at 3 a.m. Thyoung never complained. He flew to Juju to get Jungkook the exact peach flavored popsicle he wanted. He played his massages back every night, kissed his swollen belly, and read children's books to it even when Jungkook cried. Because our daughter might not like my fashion sense. Thyoung only smiled. She'll adore you, he whispered, because I do. Cutscene. Yuna's fall. Aftermath. Weeks passed since she was removed from the company. At first, Yuna tried to brush it off, telling people she left voluntarily, that she was moved on to better being, but the industry wasn't stupid. But spread fast. A CEO firing the long-lasting secretary for harassing his spouse. No company wanted to take that risk. Her applications were quietly rejected. Meetings were postponed and ever rescheduled, and slowly her life unraveled. Gone were the designer clothes she used to flaunt in front of Jungkook. Gone were the fancy salons, the chauffeur, the expensive lunches with clients. She had to sell her apartment, move into a small rental. She reached out into contacts, begged, pleased, but Thyoung's silence was louder than any words. He didn't blacklist her. He didn't have to. Her actions did that for her. One thing she said alone. Sat down on her cold cups, going through social media. A new post popped up. Kim Thyoung and Jungkook, a family announcement. The photo of Thyoung holding Jungkook from behind, both smiling with a soft eye, and Jungkook's smile baby bump peeking from under a soft sweater. The caption read, the best part of my life began now. Yuna stared at the screen numb. He had never looked at her like that, not once in all the years she stood beside him, and in that moment she finally realized she was never close to having his heart. She was never close to having his heart. She had never only be a shadow next to his, but Jungkook became his home. It was a rainy night when Jungkook's water broke. Taeyong didn't panic. He freaked out completely. He forgot the hospital bag he wrote. He wore mismatched shoes. He screamed at 3 red lights. But then they were in the delivery room. Jungkook crisped in hands, sweat on his clothes. Ty was all there, whispering announcement, kissing his knuckles, holding his clothes, and when a soft crying sound filled the room, everything still. Taeyong turned, heart stopping. The nurse passed the tiny baby girl in Jungkook's arms. She has wisps of dark hair and sleepy eyes. Tears rolled down Jungkook's cheeks as he stuttered in disbelief. She is real. Taeyong pressed beside her, them both. She is perfect. The baby yawned. Jungkook touched her cheek. Hey little girl, I'm your Appa, and this beautiful one holding you is your Papa. He kissed Jungkook's forehead, voice thick with tears. You gave me the word, Jungkook. She is our everything. Jungkook whispered, exhausted but smiling. I think she looks like you. She looks like love, Taeyong replied. The house was calm that morning. Warm sunlight poured into the living room. As the Jungkook sat on the sofa, the baby girl nestled safely in their lap, playing with the soft brushy sheet like a bunny. Her chubby cheeks popped slightly every time she giggled, her tiny fingers gripping at dry like it was her entire world. She was 9 months old now. Hung sat on the couch, legs crossed, sipping the morning coffee while watching the whole world unfold in front of him. Jungkook's soft voice sang a little lullaby, one hand gently patting the daughter's back. She cooed and babbled, her sparkle brown eyes fixed on Jungkook. Baba, Pa. She suddenly turned toward the couch where Taeyong was. Her eye left her, and then it happened. Appa. Taeyong blinked. Jungkook froze. The pressure dropped from her little hands as she repeated the louder this time, smiling while they reached her small arms out. Appa. Taeyong shouted out. The coffee forgot as it spilled a little bit on the table. You did she? His voice cracked. Jungkook's eyes shimmered with certainty as he turned his baby girl around. You said Appa. She giggled again, clapping her hands, proud of herself. Appa. Taeyong rushed over, dropping to his knees in front of them. Say it again, Mummy Star. Appa. She squealed, reaching out and grabbed his shirt. He laughed, actually laughed like a boy, breathless. That's me, she babbled in delight as Taeyong kissed her forehead, then her hand, then turned to Jungkook and cupped his cheek gently. She said my name first, he whispered. Jungkook rolled his eyes, rolled his tears. Don't rub it in, you're jealous. Tai Chi's pulling both into a hug, but she's half of you, so technically she said your name too. Annoying, JK said. You're beautiful, Tai said. I know, JK said. They both juggled softly at their daughter, nestled between them, fingers now tugging at Taeyong's collar, with Jungkook kissed her bold lip, and in that moment on a quiet morning in the sunlight living room surrounded by warmth, eager and love, Taeyong realized his heart didn't belong to just Jungkook anymore. Now it belonged to two people completely, his husband and their tiny miracle who called her Appa. Him, Appa. It had become a routine in the Kim household. Their daughter Heron, now 1 year old, now with tiny pigtails and an obsession with strawberries, followed Jungkook everywhere like a baby duck. If Jungkook went to kitchen, Papa, she would purr after him, dragged her stuffed bunny. If Jungkook dared go to bathroom, tears, so many tears. Even when he sat next to her, she had to sit on his lap, hugging his chest like he will disappear. And Taeyong, well, he had feelings. I think she's trying to steal you from me. Tai grumbled. One evening, sitting across the Jungkook on the couch while Kieran turns to her, Appa, would you like whistle oxygen? Jungkook giggled, brushing his fingers through softly. She just love me more. Get in line, Appa. Yeah, excuse me, I love you first. Kieran let out a loud, proud Papa and slapped her tiny hand against Jungkook's cheek, encouraged her. Taeyong's good. She's doing it on purpose. She's a baby. She's a genius, and she knows I'm suffering. Outing cutely. The next morning, when Jungkook woke up ready to make breakfast, Taeyong tiptoed into the nursery and carefully looked at their little sleeping daughter. Let's go on, he whispered. He hadn't blinked awake, looked at Taeyong's face for a second, then turned around and started screaming, Papa, no, I'm your Appa. I give you toys. I sang Baby Shark 11 times. Yesterday, she let out a cry. Taeyong gasped, you're breaking my heart. By the time Jungkook came home, he found Tai holding Kieran like a pouty koala, covered in toy rings and pacifiers, but she was halfway sliding off his lap, crying, Papa. Oh my god, Jungkook laughed, shaking his head. What are you doing to our child? Trying to win her heart? Tai deadpan. I'm not losing to a bunny plushie and soft sweaters. Later that night, they all lay in the bed together, Kieran snuggled between them, one tiny hand. The other curled around Taeyong's finger. Jungkook whispered, you know she loves you too, right? I know, Tai whispered back, brushing his thumb against Steven's cheek. She's mother moon. You are so dramatic, JK, and you love her, Tai. I do, JK. They smiled at each other over their baby girl sleeping in an arranged marriage to soft love, confession, a daughter, and a home filled with laughter. Taeyong leaned across Kieran and kissed Jungkook's soft lips, thinking, thank you for this life, immobile. Jungkook smiled. You gave it to me. And just as sleep started to put them under, he sighed in his sleep and over, Papa, Appa, thanks, Almond. Jungkook finger laced with his, and in that moment, everything felt full, perfect, home.